Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is the ZaReason Zini 1550. It's a tiny computer, measures about 4.5 by 4.5 by less than 2 inches high, and it is based on Intel's NUC mini PC platform. It's a small form factor computer that you can put in your living room or anywhere where you might not have a lot of room, or just like the idea of a small PC. But it's got enough power to run full desktop software, and Intel sells this as a bare bones system. And ZaReason is a company that sells Linux-based computers. So basically, they took the NUC, put their name on it, and then preload it with Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, a number of other Linux-based operating systems of your choice. And they'll sell it to you, and you can plug it into any display, keyboard, mouse, and have a full-fledged computer. Now, you could probably save a little bit of money by buying a bare-bones system and configuring it yourself, but one of the advantages of going with a company like ZaReason is that they'll do all the work of making sure that all the hardware and software work well together. And so they sent me the system with Ubuntu 15.04, an Intel Core i3 Broadwell processor, and 8 gigabytes of RAM. Retail price is about $608. They have cheaper models starting at $549. And again, you could maybe do it a little bit less for less money if you just built your own, but you would then have to make sure that everything works properly and have community support instead of a company that's supporting it. So right here we've got Ubuntu 15.04 with the Xubuntu desktop. You can change desktop environments. I'm particularly fond of this one. And out of the box, it came with certain applications installed, including Firefox and LibreOffice, and the Wi-Fi worked, the audio worked, the video worked. There was no need to make sure that to sort of troubleshoot anything, and that's one of the real advantages. As somebody who's sort of dabbled over the years with different Linux-based operating systems on different computers, we don't need to do this right now. It was kind of a remarkable experience to just turn something on and have it work immediately running Ubuntu. So you can see here the web browsing experience is pretty good. We've got 802.11ac Wi-Fi. We can go to YouTube. And when using Google Chrome, even on Ubuntu, Netflix works properly.
And it's only the ears.
Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is a Zotac ZBox Nano CI321. It's a big name for a fairly little computer. You can see that it's small enough to hold in one hand here, and so video works pretty well. Another thing that kind of amazes me here is with this Broadwell processor and Ubuntu, GIMP, which takes forever to load on most Windows computers, loads almost instantly. So that's the GIMP image editing application. As I mentioned, we've also got LibreOffice, so we can load up spreadsheets, word processor, etc. And have plenty of applications running at the same time. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with the experience. Now, Linux has come a long way in terms of what it can do, but also developers have really come up with more applications that are available. So one thing that's relatively new here is that the Steam gaming client works on Linux. Now, not all games are going to work, but I did download a couple of Linux-based or Linux versions of PC games and found that they worked over here. Of course, the last one I tried here was XCOM Enemy Unknown, and my license for that has expired. But we've got Deponia, which is a fairly simple game here. I just want to show you that it loads.
What is it now? Wasn't the game supposed to have started already?
Yeah, well, yes. But the junk press broke and we thought we...
Who thought? I don't... Just watch.
Maybe you want to listen...
But you...
Oh, come... Just point...
So we got a little point and click action going on there. So Steam works and Steam games work. Another thing that you might want to do with a computer is a little media. And the Kodi Media Center works just fine. Apparently I forgot to actually add videos before doing this demo, but you can see that it loads pretty quickly. And in fact, if you wanted to, you could even boot straight to Kodi instead of to another desktop operating or desktop environment. So let's go in here and log out. And I'll show you a couple of different things that I've tried here. Let's go to the sort of standard Ubuntu desktop. You can see that works just fine. So this is actually what came preloaded, but then I went ahead and installed Ubuntu, which is the other desktop environment that we saw here. We do have access to the Ubuntu Software Center. I don't know why I decided to open that. So we have lots of different applications we can install that way. Or, if we wanted to, we could, again, log out. And this time, choose Kodi. And since it'll automatically log into the last thing that you used, we could actually reboot the computer, and when it boots up again, it's going to boot straight into Kodi. So you could set it up next to a TV and use this as a media center application. So it's pretty versatile in terms of what it can do. You've got audio, you've got video, you've got Office software. Pretty much anything you can do on a PC, you can do here as long as there are Linux-based applications for it, and everything works out of the box. Wi-Fi, audio, so I'm pretty impressed with it. In terms of the hardware itself, again, this is the $608 version that they loaned me. It is upgradable to a certain extent, and I'll show you a little bit more about that once I log off. And let's just go ahead and power off from here. All right, so the computer's down. Let's just go ahead and unplug these guys so I can show you the ports. Now, it's not a fanless system, but it is a pretty small, quiet system, and there's a lot of ventilation here. So on the front, we've got two USB 3.0 ports and a headset jack, ventilation, and a Kensington lock. On the back, that's where the power goes. Display port, Ethernet, two USB ports, and a mini HDMI port, and you can see ventilation for that fan. It does come with this little adapter, so you can use a full-sized HDMI port, and it can support multiple displays, because it does have multiple display ports there. More ventilation. Power button on the top, and that's about it. On the bottom, you'll notice these four little sort of rubber feet that hold it up. Also have screws in the middle of them. And if you don't tighten them too much, you can open the case without even using a screwdriver. Having said that, let's see if I can get it to work. I think we're good. Now, you can configure this with both solid state and hard drive storage, and you'll get a slightly taller model if you do that. This is the slimmer version, which has just a 128 gigabyte solid state drive. It is available with more, and this version has 8 gigabytes of storage, or 8 gigabytes of RAM. There's 2 RAM slots here. You can support up to a total of 16 gigabytes, I believe. Entry-level model has 4 gigabytes and the same Core i3 Broadwell processor. It's also available with a Core i5 Broadwell. Now, these are Broadwell chips that are designed for low-power devices like laptops, but they work pretty well in this desktop computer sort of setup. Now, it's not a high-end gaming machine. You can do some light gaming, like that Steam game I showed you, and as I mentioned, I did use XCOM Enemy Unknown, and that worked just fine. It does have Intel HD graphics, but clearly there's no room inside this case for discrete graphics or a lot of other things. But still, it's nice to be able to do some minor upgrades if you wanted to put more storage in, or swap out the storage, or change the memory. So that's what's inside and how easy it is to open up. And then you just close it by placing this back in to its slot, which always goes better when I'm not on camera, and then tightening it up. So that's a quick look at the ZaReason Zini 1550. You can find more details at Liliputing.com. I just wanted to show you that it's compact, it performs pretty well, it runs Ubuntu like a champ. Should work with other Linux-based operating systems. You could also install Windows on it, but at that point you really might as well buy it from somebody besides ZaReason. But thank you to ZaReason for loaning me this demo unit and giving me a chance to test out the performance. And overall, I've been pretty impressed. It's up to you to decide whether it's worth the $550 and up asking price. But it is definitely a pretty nice little computer if you're looking for something compact and reasonably powerful. This is Brad Linder with Liliputing.